Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, as you can tell by the title and the thumbnail, we are talking about the ritual decks, ranking them from best to worst. And here's the thing, there's a lot of rituals, and a lot of ritual decks. And there are some that I would say are not really ritual decks. And those are the ones where they have a ritual monster, but they realistically never use them. So, all of those basically go into F tier, right? A lot of them are just kind of cards thrown in from like Brains. For example, Salad, Adagnister, I think that's Adagnister, I could be wrong. And then Boral. And then some of them are just, I don't know, Clown Clan and stuff like that. So for the most part, they're just an F tier. We're just going to ignore those ones. Okay, cool. We're going to start off here with the Doom archetype. I don't actually think... I forget what this archetype is. Is this Archfiend? Oh, wait, this might be Archfiend. Yeah, because Demise is over here. Oh, this is the new Archfiend support. Okay, to be fair, this archetype also has very few, if not... I think it has two. I might be wrong. But it also has very few. However, the new support specifically centers around utilizing the Archfiend ritual monster. So overall, the problem is this is very, very new. And I don't really know where this is specifically. I think it's done... It's the new Demise support that's done stuff in the OCG. I don't think this deck has done anything, so we'll put it in C tier. Next up, Cyber Angel. Here's the thing, only really Ben 10 was all that useful, so I'm gonna put it in B tier. Other than Ben 10, the rest of the Cyber Angels were kind of mid. I guess Natasha also saw play for that. The same time that Ben 10 was playable, you would also play Natasha. But other than that, literally none of the other ritual monsters have ever done anything, and honestly, the deck itself was never actually all that good. So outside of its short stint of playability, utilizing the Drytron names, it wasn't all that good. Next up, we have what is this, BLS? The BLS rituals. They exist. I'm gonna put this in F tier. Let's be honest, this deck is terrible. All of the rituals are like so bad. Unless you are given a skill that literally says mill 7 at the start of your duel from specifically named cards, like you did in Duel Links, this deck will not do anything. It literally took one of the most broken skills in Duel Links to make this deck playable. Next up, we have Blue Eyes. Blue Eyes actually does have some fairly decent rituals. Chaos Max and the other one are used, and notably because of the fact that Magia, I don't know how you're supposed to say the fusion's name, because that card specifically utilizes the ritual monsters, and that's the way to generally summon that card, I do think it's worth bumping it up from F tier, but they're not great. They are absolute noob traps. So there's that. Next up, we have the Code Talker, the Code Wizard. They're like the Cybers ritual stuff. They're actually fairly decent. I actually do believe that this deck is pretty okay. Okay, I have to put it in C tier. Let's be honest, it's not that great. But at the very least, I do think that it has merit. And it just got some new support. That's true. I forgot about that new support. I don't remember if it's actually any good. I cannot remember. It's a new card, but I don't think it's actually any good. I'm going to keep it in C tier. I could be wrong about this one, though. I'm pretty sure this is like the Code Talker stuff. Anyway, beside the point. We have the new BLS stuff. Here's the thing. I really don't want to rank this. I'm going to put it in B tier for now. But we have seen... I don't even know if this is out in the OCG. I don't know if it's done anything. It's been out. If it has been out, it's been out for like a day. If that. It brand spanking new. So for the most part, I don't think it's really worth mentioning. But both of those cards, both the DMOC and the other BLS guy, the BLS retrain, are very good. So there you go. Demise. Here's the thing. Demise, I feel like, has to go in at least A tier, because not only was it meta relevant, it was a rogue deck when it came out, right? As Demise OTK, utilizing Demise to just nuke the field. Very powerful effect. However, with the new support that was just released, it has taken over alongside the Mitsurugi cards in the OCG, and it's really, really strong in the OCG. So for the most part, I feel like it just has to go in A, even though for most of its lifetime it's been pretty bad. there are certain times where it's been very strong, and honestly, ritual decks, for the most part, are pretty terrible. There are very, very few decks that can actually make use of rituals, so there you go. Anyway, Dogmatica. I don't know, top of C tier? This one has... I was gonna say it has results, but it doesn't. It's never really done anything. At the very least, it has a game plan. I don't know. It could be good. I'll put it in C tier. It could be B tier, but there you go. Drytron. Yeah, this is an S tier. It's obviously S tier. I was trying to make an argument for why it wouldn't be S tier, but I was like, nah, it absolutely is. One of the best ritual archetypes. Not only is it really strong for generic ritual support, but also the boss monsters, especially with the new boss monster as well, are very powerful and allow you to generate massive advantage utilizing the ritual monsters. On top of that, it's one of the few times where a ritual deck has been meta within Yu-Gi-Oh's history. There's not a ton, so all in all, I mean, we got it. And it was like the best deck. I don't know if it was actually the best deck, but it was up there. So there you go. Next up, we have Gishki. Gishki is probably B tier. It's mostly a gimmick deck. Not all that great. Well, okay, now that I'm seeing where Demise is, yeah, Demise is also B tier. Anyway, Gishki's good. Gishki's good, not great. Got it. Herald. Here's the thing. I feel like I have to put this in A tier almost exclusively for 2 cards. And it's not the rituals. It's because of Herald of Orange Light and Diviner. You could also say Arclight as well. That's like a ban-worthy card. However, I don't even think Arclight is necessarily the issue. Though that card is also crazy. Yeah, you're right. That card as well. Arclight, Diviner, Orange Light, absolutely carry this archetype. That being said, they're also very centered around rituals, right? And generate massive advantage for the ritual deck. And these cards individually have also seen a lot of play due to Drytron. I don't want to put this in S tier because the archetype itself is not necessarily powerful, and while some of the boss monsters have seen play and some of the engine pieces have seen play, they rarely see play together, and for the most part, they're not specifically synergistic for rituals as much as they are just individual pieces that are strong, right? So again, I don't necessarily think that's S tier, but they have some really banger cards is what I will say. Next up we have, I know this card is called Chalice Slime. What is the archetype? I forget. They're fairly decent. They're really strong ritual support, but they also haven't really done anything. Also, their boss monsters are basically not boss monsters. I'll put it in B tier, but it's definitely bottom, either top of C or bottom of B. So there's that. Libromancer. This deck exists. I'm not gonna lie, this deck is so bad. It has no real redeeming qualities. At the very least, I will say it does center around the ritual monster and basically only does... Actually, it has several ritual monsters. What am I saying? Because I was going to say, like, oh, this one only has one ritual monster, but no, it actually has a few. So, never mind. Forget I said anything. I don't know. It's an archetype. It does exist. It's not terrible. It's not BLS bad, but it's not great. Next up, we have Magic-E. Magic-E feels like it should be able to do, you know, cold fusion. And it technically can. There's a good amount of stuff Magic-E can do. The problem is that it's really bad at that. It's really bad at actually doing that and has never really done anything except for be in the YouTube combos of random jank, right? It never actually does anything competitively. However, I will say, by far one of the coolest decks. Magic-E is really sick. So, all in all, I want to put it really high, but I can't because it's really bad. I'll put it in like the middle of C. Megalith. Megalith? I really want to put it in A. the thing is, in terms of representation, it's not really had the representation that I think it could have. I think when Megalith got full for the first time, Yu-Gi-Oh players were first learning how to play like modern Yu-Gi-Oh. So oftentimes people were like, Megalith's too hard. Which, by the way, if you look at it from a modern lens, it's not. It's fine. It's very easy to pilot and pretty easy to play. However, a lot of people were dissuaded from learning the deck probably at its peak. So because of that, I can't put it that high. But I do want to make note that this deck has been at least decent several times, and more importantly, has a lot of very powerful things that it can do. So I think overall, I should say, also in NR format, Megalith was by far one of the strongest decks of all time, is still banned to this day, and anytime they experiment with the unbanning of the Megalith cards, they immediately have to revert because of how powerful those cards are. So it's not like the cards are bad, it's just that they kind of came out in a higher powered format. So there you go. Next up, Makonko. Makonko does have some ritual monsters. We can't say they don't. And to be fair, Makonko has had results due to not Makonko cards, basically, but due to Infernoble. So I want to put this lower because it really hasn't done much, and it's a really mid archetype. Though with the new support, it's seen play in Genesis. With the new support, it's seen play in... I was going to say Master Duel, but literally I've only played against it once since the new support. So maybe not. I don't know. Have you played against this deck? I feel like no one plays this deck. Even when the new support came out and you would expect it to be played, no one played it. Because it's bad. Yeah, you're right. This deck is bad. You know what? That convinced me. C tier for you. Yeah, below... What is this archetype? Anyway, yeah, let's move on. Mitsu. Yeah, I mean, it's... here's the thing. I'm not going to say it's the best ritual deck we've had because Nekroz existed. And as much as I want to be like, Mitsu is currently the best. Yes, it's currently the strongest. And it's one of the strongest engines we've ever had, which for a ritual deck is pretty rare, right? We only have a few ritual decks that are engines that, like, I don't know, Ben 10, and then Mitsu. Most other ritual decks are not engines, right? That being said, Nekroz was tier 0 and was dominant for so long and was extremely powerful. Yes, it's probably the worst aging of the tier 0 decks. However, it also was tier 0 and was extremely dominant at the time. So I kind of can't put anything below that. Sure, Mitsu is stronger right now. Even Drytron is stronger right now, but you got to put respect on the name, right? Nekroz is crazy. Anyway, moving on. Nephthys. Nah, Nephthys is F tier. Yeah, Nephthys is really bad. Didn't they get new support? They had like a second wave of support. I say new. Second wave of support. I don't think it did anything for the archetype. I can't remember. I know one of this card's... I know one of this archetype's ritual monsters, and it's terrible. And I'm trying to remember what the other cards even do, and I'm like, I don't even know. I know generally the game plan, and I remember playing the solo mode and being like, man, this deck doesn't do anything. And that was with the new Link monster or something like, I don't know. Crazy. Novels. Novels are actually pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. They're pretty good. They have a similar problem to that of Megalith, where it's like, it's less so they were difficult or too difficult to play, but it was more so not worth the time investment. But I feel like they're very similar in nature, right? A solid rogue deck has seen some play, never really put up any real results, but was playable. Prediction Princess. Prediction Princess exists. It's not very good, but it does exist and has stuff that it can do. I actually don't hate this deck. I feel like there's stuff for it to do, but it's not great. Ryuge. I don't know. Again, this one feels very similar to like Megalith. I think it's a little bit better than Megalith, but not a little bit better. So there you go. Shinobird. Shinobird's really good in lower power formats, but in terms of regular Yu-Gi-Oh, it's pretty bad, right? Yeah, that's it. Shinobird's like really good in draft formats or in sealed environments, but anytime you actually have to build a constructed full power archetype, Shinobird just doesn't do anything. Because like, oh no, here's, I don't know, pick a meta deck from the last like 5 years. It's kind of just destroys Shinobirds for the most part. So kind of sucks. Cool game plan, as are most of these decks. I really love rituals. They're by far my favorite summoning mechanic, but yeah, most of them are terrible. I hate to say it, Vendred, also pretty bad. What is there even to say about Vendred? Oh, it's really good in NR format, once again. However, unlike something like Megalith, while the Vendreds are very strong in NR, the difference is that in almost every other format, they've just done nothing. Absolutely nothing. The only thing that ended up doing anything was a Vendred Savior, which was basically just a way to dump zombies into the graveyard, which even that was not a great use of that card. So for the most part, I feel like this deck is just, I don't know, it's honestly, it might be F tier. It's not quite there. It's pretty bad, but it's not that bad. And then Voices Voice, another solid A tier. Another deck that was actually meta, which is kind of surprising. Pretty much all of these were either part of the metagame or were... No, yeah, pretty much all of these were part of the metagame. Either they were extremely dominant, like with Mitsu and Nekroz, or just were a part of it, a fairly consistent part of the metagame. So there's that. Everything else down here is like rogue, at best. And sometimes not even that. So, yeah, there you go. Cool. Those are my thoughts. Obviously, if we were to rank like Salamangreat or something of that nature, like, yeah, Salad's incredible, you know. Agnister's incredible. You know, these are like significantly stronger than the vast majority of these other ritual decks. The problem is that these aren't really ritual decks and you never really utilize the ritual monster, right? Similar to that of like Clown Clan. It's a hard deck to say. So there you go. Those are my thoughts. I don't know. I love ritual monsters. They're very cool. I think that they have the coolest mechanic. That's going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye.